Okay, friends, happy Friday. As promised, the Nature's Not Canceled 8-week challenge will dedicate Fridays to at-home projects or mini challenges related to that week's theme. These are projects that everyone can do at home over the weekend, so we hope you guys are game. So our week 1 theme focused on migration, that cool phenomena in nature where species move from point A to point B for some important reason, usually involving food, finding a mate, raising young, etc. Sometimes the distance traveled can be in hundreds or thousands of miles, like we learned this week with some migratory birds, or sometimes super short distances, like reptiles or amphibians. So our Friday project for the week is about helping some of those migrants. So we've got 3 projects or mini challenges for you all today, and they range from super easy, fairly easy, to what we call extra credit advanced. To be clear, we are not awarding credit or grades of any kind, just our gratitude and appreciation for each and every one of you out there willing to have some fun with us. So our first project, TP bird feeders. You heard me right. Yep. Toilet paper bird feeders. So just a little inside knowledge here. Among environmental educators, the pine cone bird feeder activity is kind of like a rite of passage. Until you've done this activity with a gaggle of little bitty kids that inevitably end up eating some of the birdseed themselves, you haven't quite earned your stripes. But this week, forget the pine cones, people. We are going with TP tubes. Apparently, a whole bunch of you have a whole bunch of these, so get to it and give them a higher purpose. Okay, so this is super easy. Forage for tubes around your house. Hole punch those suckers. Ransack your pantry for either some peanut butter or Crisco for those with some nut allergies. Grab an old cookie sheet, fill it up with birdseed, slather up the tubes, roll them in the seed, cut some twine or string, and use the hole punched openings to make a nice little hanger. Then get out and find the perfect place to hang these. When hanging, we also recommend strategically placing these so that the bird could get at it from a nearby branch. We recommend some place where you can watch from inside to see who comes. Then congratulate yourself. You just helped some birds get some much needed nourishment, making it a bit more easy for them to go about doing their bird thing. So that was the easy one. Our second project, also easy, but perhaps a tad more time consuming, bird nest starter kits. Although totally doable with things likely around your house, this might take a little bit of time. So this is about gathering perfectly sized strips of material that birds can use to build and feather their nests with. Things like yarn, twine, old t-shirts, felt left over from your crafty years, which clearly you're not in anymore. You'll also need one of those produce bags that onions or fruit come in, the ones with the holes in them. Onion bags, I find, work really well for this activity because the holes are just the right size. So gather your materials, gather some child labor, forced or unforced labor, it doesn't really matter, and cut up thin strips, really thin strips, and about in length, about 5 to 6 inches, okay, but really thin. This is the perfect size for the bird to grab and go and bring back to their nest. So these strips are going to go inside that onion bag, right? You're going to fill that onion bag up, and then you're going to wrap it up, and you're going to also hang it from a nearby tree outside. This is actually one of my favorite simple projects because, like the TP bird feeder project, it's ultimately about helping. I mean, making a nest is hard work for a little bird. It takes a ton of energy and time, and they're doing it so that they can create a safe, little comfortable home for their chicks. So this bird nest starter kit you just made gives them ready-to-use materials for nest building. Just like the TP bird feeder, you're making it a little bit easier for our bird friends to survive. So if you do this one, also give yourself another pat on the back. So our last Friday challenge, this is a bit harder. That's why we call it extra credit, but we bet you can do this. We call this project Birdsong Smarties. So wherever you are, whether that's Edwardsville, Illinois, or Florida, or California, or London, wherever, we bet you can name a few common backyard birds in your area. Go ahead and pick the top 5 most common that you see locally this time of year. Those ones that are fairly easy to identify on sight using your eyes. For me, here in the Midwest, that list would likely include northern cardinal, American robin, blue jay, maybe black-capped chickadee, and probably house finch. So those are top 5. So pick those top 5 that make sense for your area, and make sure that you can identify them on site, okay? Now here's where it gets tricky. Go outside during the morning hours and find a comfy spot. Bring binoculars if you have them, but not necessarily. Listen for bird song and bird calls. Then see if you can find the bird making these sounds. Do your best to match up the sound with the bird. If you've got a phone, take a video or voice memo to record the song so you can test yourself later. Then, if you can, go online to find vocal recordings of your birds. So we recommend National Audubon Society or Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Both of these have an impressive online library of bird songs, bird calls, vocalizations. This may take some time becoming birdsong smarties, but stick with it. It's like learning a new language. And if you can master just a few this weekend, just a few, we promise you won't be sorry. We promise that hikes, that woodland hikes, or small hikes in your own backyard will take on a whole new meaning if you can match a song to a bird. We promise you will feel a pretty cool sense of connection that's pretty hard to put into words. But trust us on this. It's a good life skill. It is. Okay, so that's our Friday at Home project lineup for week 1. TP bird feeders, bird nest starter kit, and birdsong smarties. Have fun doing these, and be sure to share your finished work with us. Tag us at Watershed Nature Center and use the Nature's Not Cancelled hashtag. Next Monday, our focus is frogs. Until then, peace out, friends. Get outside and be well.